All right, guys, welcome to your lesson. This is on combining like terms. We are going to start out pretty basic before we get into more algebra stuff tomorrow. So in this lesson, it says simplify each expression. So simplify means that we put things together that are alike, or we combine or add together like terms. So if I told you to simplify 4 plus 5, that would mean to add 4 plus 5. So write this in a more simple way. 4 plus 5 is 9. So that would be the simplified answer for 4 plus 5. That's all we're doing here. So whenever we simplify an expression, our terms must either be regular numbers or constants, or they must have a variable. So a term is just a part of an expression. So this is a term and this is a term. They're two separate things. So I can see that I have negative 6x minus 10x. Both of these are considered like terms because they have the same variable, which is x. So to combine my like terms, I'm going to add them together. So I need to think of my subtraction as a negative. And when we combine like terms, that means we add them together. So I'm going to add together negative 6x and my negative 10x. So I'm going to add together negative 6 plus negative 10. So remember, if you're adding integers, you add or you say same sign, add and keep. Both of these are negative, so 10 plus 6 is 16, negative 16. And then don't forget that they were both x's. So our simplified answer is negative 16x. Here I've got negative 8 minus 2x. It is the same idea. I do apologize for the blurriness. So I've got two like terms. These are like terms because they are two expressions with the same variable, which is an x. So I'm going to add these. So negative 8x plus negative 2x is negative 10x. Now, if I had something like negative 8x minus 2y, I could not add these together. I'd have to keep them separate because these are not the same variable. X and y are different variables. All right, for number 3, again, I'm combining my like terms. I'm simplifying where I can. Both of these have an x. Both of my terms have an x. My negative 5 has an x, my negative 7 has an x. So when I combine like terms, I'm adding them together. So negative 5 plus negative 7 is negative 12, and both of these terms had an x. So I have negative 12 x's. Let's try a couple more before we distribute. So for this problem, I've got 5x minus 5 plus 1 minus 9x. And again, I want to simplify this expression. So I want to add together my like terms or terms with the same variable. So I'm always going to start with terms that have a letter. And I've got a 5x and a negative 9x. So to combine these together, I'm going to add 5x plus negative 9x. Now we're adding numbers with different signs, so we'll subtract. 9 minus 5 is 4. My larger number is negative, so my answer is negative 4x. Okay, so that's when I combine my x's. Now I also have two constants. A constant is a number without a variable. So I've got negative 5 and a positive 1. Negative 5 plus 1 is negative 4. So think of this as you start off with $5 of debt. You pay back $1, but you still owe $4. Now the way that I'll write this simplified expression, so this is my final answer, is I always write my variable first, so the number that has a letter with it, so negative 4x. That came from adding my two variables. And then I also have that -4, which I could write as plus -4, but I know that plus a negative is the same as subtraction. So my final answer is -4x minus 4 when I combine my like terms. Okay, so let us skip this number 5, since that is very similar to the ones that we have done so far. And I just want to do a couple problems with distributive property. So whenever you see parentheses, you probably think PEMDAS, and that's good. So you probably think order of operations. But unfortunately, in this case, we cannot make this 15x because these are not like terms. One term has an x, one term does not. And to be like terms, both have to have the same variable. So to get rid of my parentheses, I need to multiply out that 7 with everything inside. So 7 times 9x plus that 6. So I know that 7 times 9 is going to give me 63x. And 7 times that 6 will give me a positive 42. And then I also have that plus 2 that was on the outside of parentheses. Once I've gotten rid of my parentheses, I can combine my like terms. So there are no other terms that have an x, so 63x is going to stay the same. But I can add together 42 and positive 2 because those are like terms. They're just regular constants, they're numbers. So 42 plus 2 is 44. So 42 plus 2 is 44. So my final answer would be my x's. So I have 63 x's plus the 44. Okay, so hopefully you're getting the hang of this. We're going to do a couple more. For number 7, I've got 7 times 9x plus 6 plus 8. Again, you can see I have parentheses, so I'm going to distribute that 7. So 7 times 9x plus 7 times 6. So 7 times 9x is 63x, and 7 times 6 is a positive 42. And then I have that positive 8. Now again, my like terms are going to be my 42 and 8. We call them constants because neither number has a variable. 42 plus 8 is 50. So my final answer, simplified, is 63x plus that 50. All right, so our last example today is going to be a problem that has subtraction. So it's just a little different, but the method is still the same. So here I've got 7 times x minus 5 minus 2. So I am going to distribute that 7, or multiply that 7, by everything inside my parentheses. So 7 times x is 7x. And 7 times that negative 5, remember that if there is a subtraction in front of a number, that's the same as a negative. So 7 times negative 5 is a negative 35, which we write as minus 35. And then I have this minus 2. Now my only like terms are that negative 35 and that negative 2, so I'll add them together. Remember, same sign, add and keep. 35 plus 2 is 37, and both numbers are negative, so I get a negative 37. So my final answer, when I combine my like terms, is 7 times x, and then that negative 37, which I just write as a minus. Okay, so the goal of today was to get you thinking algebraically. Remember that algebra just means that you have an unknown, and we use variables to represent unknowns, meaning we use letters typically to represent numbers we do not know. So all we did today is we practiced simplifying algebraic expressions. So we practiced simplifying an expression where we do not have an equal sign. So I hope you learned something or had a good review. Tomorrow we will pick up with this and take it to the next level. But please get your assignment done. Let me know if you have questions, and good luck.